But today, I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Famous for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
You know I'm always honest, there ain't no way I'll never stop it.
I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top,
I'm always burning with pain, she like to hurt me and maim. I'm always working to change, but she's still lurking the same. I keep on building a dynasty while the haters be trying me, but they hate from inside.
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Unscripted here on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. I'm your host and producer this afternoon, Logan Landers, and joining me to help do some draft grades for the 2024 NFL Draft in whole. And if you want to see the first round reactions, you can go and check out another video me and Jay did the other week. But this is for the entirety, all, 7+ rounds of the draft. We're going to give these teams a final grade if they pass, if they failed, and if they just need to get kicked out of the league. So it's going to be a fun time. Of course, my co-host today, as always, Mr. Jay McLuffin. Jay, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful, man. We had a crazy storm yesterday that dumped about 12 inches of rain into the yard, and then my retaining wall collapsed. So I had to get a guy to come out and give me an estimate on what it would cost to fix the retaining wall. So, yeah, man, it's a lot of fun, but it'll get fixed. But it's just one of those days, Logan.
Yeah,
but
it's
okay. We got sports, Logan. That's going to take care of it.
And that's what we're here to do. We're here to take you away from all the negativity in the world, whether it be your walls getting messed up, whether it be political stuff, family stuff, whatever you got. Me and Jay are here to help out and to just have some fun, hang out with you here for these next 28, 27 minutes here in our 30-minute show. You can check out, of course, on our channels, as you can see here, Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and also LinkedIn, but also on Northeast Streaming Sports' Roku channel every single Sunday and Monday. Me and Jay are over there putting in some good work. So check us out over there. And Jay, let's just get right into it. We got a short time to knock out 32 teams. So let's start off NFL draft grades. Arizona Cardinals, some notable selections that they got. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Darius Robinson the first round. Also picked up Max Melton, Trey Benson, Isaiah Adams. The list goes on. They had a lot of selections here, Jay. How would you rank the Cardinals in terms of a letter grade?
Yeah, I give them an A, Logan. Straight up. I give them an A. I give them an A for a couple of reasons. Number one, they didn't screw up the first pick in the draft. Marvin Harrison Jr., he was desperately needed to give some more added help to Kyler Murray and really to help Kyler Murray become the quarterback that I think Arizona wanted him to be, but he just never really had that true wide receiver one. Sure, he had Larry Fitzgerald, but he got Larry at the end of his hype, right? So he got the old school version. But what I really, really liked wasn't so much the fact that they didn't screw up the first pick. What I liked was what they did in that third round. I thought Trey Benson, the running back, is going to give much needed help to James Conner. And I think it's going to give them a nice 1-2 punch to complement that new air game with Marvin Harrison. So I thought them combining those two things was great. But I will say this, you always got to give the yin and the yang. So the worst pick that I didn't really care for it too much was tight end Tip Ryman in that third round. I felt like they could have got something a little bit better than him. Yeah, he is a brute when it comes to blocking, so I do get why they chose him, and that might actually be okay. I don't think it's the worst pick in the world.
You're still giving him an A, so they did really good. I mean, to me, they filled all the slots they needed to. And that's what you should do in a draft. You need to fill the positions that you need, also maybe the ones that are just best available. So I'm with you, man. I think that they knocked it out of the park, and they're really going to help their team out sooner rather than later. So I'll also agree with you. I think I give Arizona an A. I think they did a great job. Obviously, the first round picks with Robinson and Harrison, you filled both sides of the ball that you desperately needed help with. So I think that they did a bang up job. Let's keep it in the A's, and let's go to the A in Atlanta. As we know, caused some controversy. Michael Penix Jr., number 8 overall. Then they went with Rook Orororo in the second round. Great name. And then Braylon Trice, Brandon Dorless. They went very defensive heavy for the most part. Picked up a backup running back, another receiver as well. So how would you grade Atlanta, one of the more kind of questionable teams in this draft? What would you give them?
Yeah, for them, I give them a C-. I'll give you the best pick, worst pick super quick because I know we're on a time limit. The best pick I thought was 4th round defensive tackle Brandon Dorless, that 6'3", 295 guy. I thought he was a steal.
Yes.
And I think he's very much a Grady Jarrett mold kind of guy. So I like that pick. The worst pick I thought was Michael Penix, and the reason why is you spent all that money on Kirk Cousins. You know you got him locked up for a few years. And if you really wanted to get this team over the hump and into there, I felt like you should have gave him a little bit more help. And I feel like, the defense could have used a little bit more help, and they could have used that pick. I think it was a number 8. I think it was the eighth pick, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of people on the board that they could have done with that, Logan. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
I'll go C+, only because I like the later additions. Michael Penix Jr., that's always going to be kind of a weird selection. Like I say, you gave Kirk Cousins all this money. I guess my thought is if he blows out his Achilles again, you have one of the best backups in the league probably off rip, which isn't bad, but it's just interesting. It's interesting to see. So I'll give him, like I said, I would say decent, not great, but not awful. I think they did a little bit better in maybe the middle to late rounds than a lot of teams. So I like that. And also the Rook Orororo pick. Interesting because we've talked about him before. Guy who has a lot of potential, big guy from Nigeria, but we'll see what happens. Also, look who has shown back up, Jay, our old friend. Damien, we never left. We've been putting content out every single week, my friend. We've missed you. We're glad to have you back. He said the worst pick was the Pats drafting Drake May. They basically traded Mac Jones for Mac Jones 2.0. All right, we'll get to the Patriots in a little bit, but we appreciate it as always, Damien, chiming in. Let's go to Baltimore, Jay. First pick late in the round, they got Nate Wiggins. Also got Adisa Isaac, Devontae Walker, TJ Tampa. They had a pretty solid draft. They went with a lot of variety. So how would you grade Baltimore?
Yeah, I give the Ravens a B, a solid. I think it's a solid B. The best pick I thought that they did was that 4th round corner in TJ Tampa.
Yeah,
I think he's going to prove to be a really good pick. I think he can play the corner, but I also think he can move inside to safety. So they got a lot of versatility out of that number 4 pick. But the worst pick was a 4th round wide receiver.
Devontae Walker.
That's it, right? Devontae Walker.
Yeah, Tez Walker. Yeah.
So I thought that was the worst pick, but
yeah,
overall, I give him a solid B.
I'll go B+. I like their picks. Nate Wiggins, I think, is a really good selection. Roger Rosengarten, new offensive tackle, who's going to fill in nicely. We know they need a little bit of line helps, and I like Adisa Isaac off the edge. So I would go B+. I think that Baltimore had a pretty solid draft all in all. They didn't need a whole lot. We know that they have a good team, so I think that they did a solid job overall. All right, Jay, let's keep it moving here. Next, after the Baltimore Ravens, is the Buffalo Bills. Their first-round selection was – they didn't have a first-round selection. They traded out of it. They had the first pick in the second round. They picked Keon Coleman. They also went with Cole Bishop, Dwayne Carter, Ray Davis, to name a couple. So how would you grade Buffalo? I might have to go with like a C-. I wasn't really feeling this draft for him.
That's interesting because the last 2 picks, you've given a better grade than I gave, and this one I'm going to give a better grade than what you get. So I guess we turn it around a little bit. I'm giving Buffalo a solid B. Okay. I like the 3rd round defensive tackle in Dwayne Carter. He is a bit undersized, but he is a good player. They need rotational guys, Logan. They lost a lot in that defense, so I think this is a good building block to start with, which is why I think they traded down for those picks to get more help. So Not a bad
whichever
move,
stands.
in my opinion. The worst pick, though, I will tell you, is Cole Bishop, the safety, in the second round. I know it fills a need, but they were way better options on that board than where he was. So I think they kind of missed the mark in that second round. But overall, solid B.
So, talking about the Buffalo Bills before we get into it, Damian chimes in saying the Bills need a new quarterback. Josh Allen is overrated. To each their own, that some people feel that way, but we'll talk about Buffalo. We talked about them and what they've got. I think, it's just okay. Heading to Carolina, though, Jay, this is a team that needs everything. And my God, they selected everything. I mean, if you look at who they drafted, every single position, it felt like they got a wide receiver, running back, linebacker, tight end, cornerback, defensive tackle, linebacker. They didn't pick the same position twice. They went all over the board. And honestly, Jay, for a team that needs help, and I saw they signed a lot of undrafted free agents as well, I kind of like what Carolina's doing here. You can tell that they're really kind of being aggressive with the new coaches and everything, trying to get back on track. I love the Xavier Legette pick in the first round, last pick at number 32. I love that for them. Of course, your guy, Jonathan Brooks out of Texas. If he's healthy, that could be a really good selection as well if his legs hold up. So I would honestly, man, and also got Jatavion Sanders as well in the fourth round, another Texas guy. Honestly, Jay, I'm going to give Carolina an A-. I really love their draft. They did a really, really solid job.
I don't know if I'm quite in the A category, but I definitely gave him a B-. So I kept him in the Bs. I just like that fourth round tight end, Jatavion Sanders.
Yeah, that's like you've seen him up close and personal, so
Yeah, he's not going to be a blocking tight end, but he plays fast, and I like that. And I think he has the skills to be a really big time tight end to either A, complement Mark Andrews, or maybe they want to save some money and move on from Mark Andrews and put him into place. I'm not sure exactly what or they may use him in special situations. Either way, I felt like it was a good spot. But what I didn't like, I'm going against my team here. I didn't like Jonathan Brooks as a player.
It's a pick because they got him early in the round.
Man.
It's either boom or bust. You know what I mean? It's too early to tell.
So many other needs though. And they took, I thought there was better options out there for them. That's why I give them the B-. Because I felt like there were other needs.
I still think they're on the right track, though, with this draft. I think that they didn't screw anything up. I think that they are definitely moving forward, though. I think we can agree with that.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Dustin chimes in saying the Bears won the draft. The Vikings lost the draft. And, well, he mentioned it because we are talking about the Bears next. Obviously, they got Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze in the first round. No second-round selections. They got Kiram Amaje in the third round, Torrey Taylor in the fourth, and finally in the fifth, they got Austin Booker. I mean, there's only 5 picks here, Jay. What would you grade them?
Yeah, I gave the Bears a B. Even though he wasn't my top quarterback, and Caleb Williams, I really liked. I thought the Jaden Daniels was a better pick. I don't know. So, but again, and that's why I gave him a B. Caleb Williams, he talks a lot. He talks a big game.
See if he can back it up.
Put up for stuff, but
no,
I just don't know, man.
He's in a different ball. He's in a different league now. Let's see if he can back it up in the National League. We don't know yet, but we'll see. I'll also agree with you. I'll give him a B. Obviously, they didn't have a whole lot of picks. They were they got the 2 first-round guys, which is what they really were wanting, and they must be trusting their brass that they have at the moment. So I'll give him a B. I'm not like, oh, this is a great draft because, like I said, you only got 5 guys, and only you only got 2 of them in the first round, and then you got later round picks who we don't know if they're even going to be on the team. So we'll see. But I'll give him a B. Like I say, I like the Rome Odunze pick probably the best out of all of them. Caleb Williams is obviously controversial, but I really like Odunze out of Washington. I think that was a really good pickup for them. They really needed that. All right, Let's go over to Cincinnati with the Bengals. Their first-round selection, Amarius Mims, also picked up Chris Jenkins out of Michigan, Jermaine Burton, and a bunch of other guys. They had a lot of picks here, Jay. How would you grade Cincinnati?
I gave him a B-. I thought the third-round defensive tackle, McKinney Jackson, I think he's got the run stuff skills to play at that defensive tackle spot. I think he can help at the inside of their defense. And, he's 6'2", 325. He's a big boy. He's got a lot of power. It just needs to be a little bit more consistent. But I like that pick. I did not like the receiver Jermaine Burton from Alabama. I think he's got good tools, but I just think there's better options out there for him.
Yeah, I would say I would give Cincy a solid. I would go C plus. Um, it was okay. They had a couple of good picks, but I wasn't blown away by it. Amarius Mims. Only reason I give him a C plus is because when he's on the field, he looks really good. Only question is he hasn't played a whole lot in college, and I watched him a lot at Georgia. So he's got a lot of potential, but we'll see if it lives up in the NFL. Let's see here. A couple more comments real quick. Dustin said trading up for McCarthy was so stupid. Damien said I wouldn't say Bears won the draft. Caleb Williams is good. Nothing against him. He's a USC quarterback, and the Bears have a bad history of developing quarterbacks. I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
No,
he's not wrong.
And I think Damien hit the nail on the head with that one. They are not good at developing. And Logan, I'm not completely sold on this Caleb Williams.
I understand.
That makes the loudest noise. Yeah. I don't know.
All right, let's move on out to Cleveland, Jay. They didn't have a first-round pick. Their first, I guess, their first draft pick was Mike Hall Jr., second round, pick 22 out of Ohio State. Honestly, Jay, I'll give them like a D plus, being nice. I really didn't feel like Cleveland did a great job with this. They were, I'm just not moved by these picks. Are you?
No, not at all. I gave him a C minus. And it is noteworthy to say that this draft does conclude the Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Watson, yeah.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson. I said Jackson. I'm sorry. Deshaun Watson. It completes that trade. So now Texas can move on for whatever they want to do, and so can Cleveland.
Right.
So that
it's over. It's done for. And there you go. And then let's move on.
C minus.
C minus, yeah. I feel like this was definitely bottom of the barrel in terms of teams I thought that drafted. All right, let's go to your team, Dallas Cowboys. What would you grade them?
Oh, Dallas.
Tyler Guyton, your first round pick.
I gave him a B minus, honestly. I thought it was a solid draft for them, but I definitely gave him a B minus. I did like the fact that they traded down to get an extra pick, and then they drafted Guyton, which we know Guyton was much needed on that offensive line.
You're not kidding.
But I thought the best one was that third round offensive lineman, Cooper Beebe. I liked him the best. I thought that was the best pickup for those guys because he's versatile. He could play at any position. And look, the Cowboys need that. But the injuries, they need a versatile guy. I thought the worst pick was the defensive lineman, Marshawn Nealon. He's a power end, plays hard, but I thought there was better options available than Nealon at that second spot. So that's why I gave him the B minus. I felt like that was their worst pick.
I'll agree with you. I think B minus is solid. Wasn't blown away by it, but they also had a few good selections. Some that obviously later round guys, it's hard to grade. But I think B minus is fair all around. All right, Denver. Bo Nix, their brand new quarterback. They didn't have a pick in the second round. Then their next one was going to be Jonah Ellis out of Utah. What would you say with Denver? What would you give them?
Again, that's another where I go. I would kind of give them. You can fluctuate between a B minus and a B, somewhere in that neighborhood.
I would. I like
the fourth round receiver, Troy Franklin. I think he's a player who will add a lot of speed to the offense. And he'll join former teammate Bo Nix. So that could be a nice little combo over there. I thought the worst one though was the 12th overall pick. Bo Nix. I mean, I don't know.
It's hard to tell. Obviously they needed a quarterback, and to be fair, when they picked, a lot of them were already gone. So he was pretty much best available.
I thought they could have traded back, and I think that's why I don't like them as much. I felt like they could have traded back to get Bo Nix. I just felt like they took him too. I like the Nix, combo, but I just felt like they could have got him in a later round.
That's fair. For Denver, I'll give them a solid B. I think that I like their kind of middle round selections, so I think that I'll give them a B there. All right, Detroit, a host team. They traded into the first round. Let's not forget. Or it traded up the first round to get Terrion Arnold, their brand new corner. They also picked another cornerback in Enos Rakestraw Jr. In the second round. Then it picked up a couple of guys on the offensive line, running back, defensive tackle, and guard later in the draft. So what would you give Detroit? I'll go with a C. Arnold I like, but the rest of the guys, I mean, Rakestraw we'll see, but I'm not super, moved by the rest of this draft as a whole.
Yeah, I gave the Lions a C plus. I do like the fourth round safety, running back, and Yaki, or how we say that guy's name. I thought he was a good player. He's physical. He's quick. I think he could be a starting safety right out the gate. So they'll get him right up off the rip, which they need him. They need that starting safety.
They do.
So I gave them a pretty good grade. I think I give him around a C plus, between a C plus and a B.
All right, Green Bay Packers, they had a lot of selections. Their first round one, that was Jordan Morgan, Edgar and Cooper in the second round, Javon Bullard as well, Marshawn Lloyd. A lot of guys who are very well known, played at a lot of big schools. But as a whole, what would you give the Green Bay Packers in this draft? What grade?
Yeah, I gave them a solid B. I thought they had a pretty good draft, especially for as many picks they had. I thought they did draft pretty well.
Yeah, I went
the
B plus.
Linebacker Edrin Cooper, I like that guy. So
yeah, he's solid. I think, like I said, I think B plus. I think that overall Green Bay did a really good job. And we'll see what happens. All right, Houston Texans didn't have a first round pick, so their overall selection, round 2, pick 10, was Kamari Laster out of Georgia at the corner. And they went all around the board pretty much to fill up some slots. Had a lot of late round picks. So what would you give them in this draft in Houston?
Yeah, Houston, they kind of disappointed me a little bit in this draft.
Yeah?
I give them a C plus, honestly.
I'll go B minus.
I thought the third round safety was a Colin Bullock. He's a rangy safety who could give them depth in the season. And I think he'll become an eventual starter, and he can run. He can. But I thought that worst pick was corner Kamari Lassiter in the second round. I didn't really like that pick.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's go to Indianapolis. Their first round pick was Liatu Latu. And then they got your guy A.D. Mitchell out in the second round. How would you give them overall? I'm gonna give Indy like a C on the dot. I like the first two selections. Rest of the draft, not really sold on it.
Yeah, I gave them a B minus. I gave them just a little bit better than what you gave them, but not much more. I like the receiver, Adonio Mitchell in the second. He's tall, he's fast. He'll be a nice addition to go along with Michael Pittman and Josh Downs. And let's be honest, Indianapolis needed a wide receiver one to help out Anthony Richards.
Yeah, you're not kidding. All right, out in Jacksonville, their first round selection, Brian Thomas Jr. What would you give the Jaguars in this draft?
Yeah, I like their draft. I gave him a solid B. I like the second round defensive tackle, Mason Smith from LSU.
Yeah, he's a good one. I would go. I'll go B minus. I like the first two. I like Jordan Jefferson as well, defensive tackle out of LSU. So I'll go with that grade for Jacksonville. All right, let's go with the champs. What was that?
No, go ahead. All
right, let's go with the champs here in Kansas City. The first round selection, Xavier Worthy. And then they went with a bunch of guys and defensive backs, a couple O linemen. So what would you give Kansas City? Obviously, they don't need a whole lot. So how would you grade them?
I actually gave them an A. I thought the two areas that I would like to see them draft in, just for the next level of movement, was pretty good. And Jared Wiley, the tight end, and also Jaden Hicks, the safety. I thought those were two spots that they really needed a little bit of young depth. And so they gave depth to their team. You know, I don't think Kansas City really needs a whole lot to even repeat. No,
obviously not. Yeah,
you know,
they don't need a whole lot. They're the champs.
Let's be honest. You don't know how much longer Travis Kelce is going to stick around before he retires and does whatever. We know I got Wiley picked to kind of hopefully will be the next big time tight end for them.
Well, they got Kelce for another 2 years now after he signed that extension the other day, so that's confirmed. But like I said, you can't never stop building for the future. So I'm gonna give KC. I'll go with an A. I liked it overall. All right, let's go to their division rivals now in the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know if this is a bias, Jay, but I'll go with a B plus. I'll be a little nice here. I liked obviously the first two. I like Bowers and I like Powers Johnson. Those were the hits of the draft. TJ Glaze, kind of much need. I like the Eichenberg pick as well in the 5th round. Rest of the draft, just kind of okay, but I'll go B plus for Vegas.
Yeah, I went with the C for those guys. I like the 4th round corner and the Semrion Richardson.
Richardson at Mississippi State.
I like him, but what I don't understand. I understand you took Brock Bowers, but I don't like that because you just took Michael Mayer last year at the tight end, who showed some flashes of some big time playability. So why draft a tight end 2 years in a row? That's why I gave him a C. I felt like that was a dumb thing to do.
All right, I see your point. Let's keep it in the West, AFC West. The Chargers, Joe Alt, number 5 overall selection, and Ladd McConkey in the 2nd round. I like this draft for LA. Obviously, they needed some help, or they need try and get over the top. So I'll go B. I'll go same grade with Vegas. I'll go B. I think that overall they filled some holes they needed.
Okay.
What
Yeah.
would you say?
No. I was like, yeah. I mean, I just didn't like that Michael Mayer. That's the only thing I didn't really care for.
No,
You know,
I'm saying for Los Angeles. Yeah, I'm saying for Los
Oh,
Angeles.
for the Chargers. I'm sorry. I thought. No, oh, I got you. My bad. I guess I misunderstood. Yeah, the Chargers. No, I gave them a B plus. I like the third round linebacker Junior Colson. Reunited the college coach Jim Harbaugh. I mean, I like that. I think it's gonna. They know each other. He knows him, so I think he's a tough physical guy. He can cover well, so I like that. I didn't like the pick of Alabama defensive tackle Justin Eboji.
Yeah.
In the fourth round, they had trouble stopping the run, and he's good against the run, but that's high for him in my book. So,
all right,
but I give him a B plus.
That's fair. All right, let's go. First off, Damian said the Raiders should have traded up in the first round to get a QB. I mean, most of them were gone the top 5 picks. It's either you give up the farm or you just kind of wait your spot. But we'll see what happens. All right, Los Angeles and the Rams. Jared Verse, their top pick, followed by Braden Fisk. Teammates back together now in LA. I've also got Blake Corum out of Michigan. Honestly, Jay, I'm gonna give the Rams an A. I was thinking A plus, but this was a tremendous draft, I feel.
Yeah, and they really did kind of need that because they were losing some people, especially like Aaron Donald.
You got to fill Aaron Donald
players.
Yeah.
I thought the best pick was defensive end Brandon Jackson to kind of pick up where he left off in the 5th round. I think he'll bring a relentless style that will keep them in the league for a long, long time. I think he's perfect for this Rams defense, especially like you said after their loss of Aaron Darnold. I didn't like the pick of running back Blake Corum in the 3rd. They already have a good back in Kyron Williams. Who they got in the 5th round. They could have,
Yeah.
I just felt like with Blake Corum, with what you already have, I just felt like he wasn't going to be the right fit. But overall, I gave him an A.
All right, the Dolphins, their top pick was Chop Robinson, followed by Patrick Paul, Jalen Wright, Muhammad Kamara, Malik Washington, a couple other guys as well. How would you grade Miami?
Yeah, I gave Miami a B plus. I like the edge, Chop Robinson.
Yeah, good guy, good player.
He didn't have a lot of sack production, but he can get after the quarterback. Which if he can put pressure on the quarterback, that can give you bad passes. So I like that. He has an explosive first step. I think they will feel the need. He's a top edge player, but he is coming off an injury, and that could be an issue as he goes in. But I gave him a B plus.
All right, Dustin's pick for the worst draft. Minnesota Vikings. What are you giving them, Jay?
I mean, I gave him a C plus. I thought the Vikings moving up in the 1st round to take Dallas Turner, was a good move on their part. I think he's going to be a big time pass rusher, which and Brian Flores' scheme, he's going to need that. So I think this is a great pickup for Brian Flores and what he's trying to do out there. I didn't like, but I thought the worst thing was the JJ McCarthy, and I think that's where we all agree on that. Coming from is. That was just for me. I think it was a bad move. I would
honestly, Jay. I'm going to give I'll give them a D. I don't think it's hard to give Fs just because Fs would mean like you just drafted kickers pretty much all the time. So I'll go with a D. I was not feeling this draft at all. I thought it was a huge reach for JJ McCarthy. To me, the Dallas Turner pick saved it. Also, the Kyrie Jackson out of Oregon. I think that was a good selection. Rest of the guys, obviously, you got a kicker, you got couple backup centers, and overall as a whole, not really feeling Minnesota. I thought they could have done better. All right, New England, our guy in Frankie, Foxborough Frankie, obviously got a brand new quarterback, Drake May. They also like Jalen Polk in the 2nd, Caden Wallace, and a couple other guys as well. And also, I think potentially a good sleeper pick, Joe Milton the 3rd dropped all the way to round 6 out of Tennessee. I would honestly, Jay, I like what New England did. I'll go with the B minus overall, though. I think that good, but not great. But I think overall, good pick.
Yeah, I followed suit with you. I gave him a B minus. I like Javon Baker. In the passing game, I think he's gonna do well. I like to pick up the Drake May. A lot of people are saying he's gonna be another. I think Damian even said that he's gonna be Mac Jones 2.0, but I don't think that's ever the case. I think he's gonna have a better production than that. And it's gonna be interesting to see how Jerome Mayo.
How he goes about it.
Yeah.
No doubt. All right, let's go to New Orleans out there with our boy Phil Tross talking about the Saints. Talise Fuaga, round 1, number 14, offensive tackle. They got Kool-Aid McKinstry as well, probably the best name in the draft. And also Spencer Rattler in round 5, a couple of other guys to fill out the rest of the draft. I would say overall for New Orleans, I'll go with a C plus. Overall for this team, I like the picks. Obviously, you need help on the O-line. It's not a sexy pick. I like Kool-Aid McKinstry in the second round. And Spencer Rattler, round 5, potentially someone who could develop, question mark. We'll see. How are you going overall, though, with New Orleans and how they did?
Yeah, I gave them a B plus. I like to pick up a Spencer Rattler. I think they got him at the right time in that 5th round. They didn't, and they were able to draft their other needs before him.
They didn't reach or anything.
I think he'll come up real nice. So I gave him a B plus.
And we all know the Saints have been in cap hell forever. So late round picks is what they were desperately needing. All right, let's go to the Giants now at New York. Malik Neighbors, their top pick. Probably like Tyler Nubbin, a couple other guys as well. I mean, I would go C plus. And that's, I think, just for the Malik Neighbors pick. I really like him. Rest of the draft class, not, blown away by. How about yourself?
Yeah, I like the Malik Neighbors pickup as the wide receiver. You all know that Daniel Jones and that offense needs a wide receiver one. They haven't had a wide receiver one, and I can't remember the last time. A lot of people think that they should have taken J.J. McCarthy with that pick because of Daniel Jones.
But you just paid him all this money.
Give Daniel Jones one more year. Give this guy a true wide receiver one before you give up on him. Yeah.
All right, let's go to their their foes in New York in the Jets. Honestly, Jay, I thought the Jets, I'll give them an A. I thought they did a tremendous job. Obviously they need help on the O-line with Rodgers going down early last year. That's why you got the guy in the first round. I think Malachi Corley falling to them in round 3 was a really good pickup. Also like Braylon Allen. Jordan Travis is a backup too. Isaiah Day. I mean, I thought that they did a really good job.
Yeah, I will tell you right now, I gave him a B minus. I think Malachi Corley was definitely something that Aaron Rodgers was probably pushing for to get them another wide receiver. So I think I think that pickup was basically to appease Aaron Rodgers. But they got him in the 3rd round, so it's not like they went all real quick on him. So yeah, right. I gave him a B minus. I still think they had a really good draft though.
All right, out there with Pags in Philadelphia. How would you give them? They went really defensive heavy for the most part. Got a couple guys for the offense, but for the most part, felt like they were really trying to shore up their defense. How would you give Philly?
Yeah, with the Eagles, I gave them a B plus. Yeah. I give them a B plus. I think rather than panicking and trading up, they stayed put and they landed the cover corner in the draft and Quinyon Mitchell in the 1st round. It was a gamble, but it paid off. Mm-hmm. So they gambled, and the fact that they gambled allowed them to get the player they needed. Because look, let's be honest, they need defensive help bad, especially in that secondary. So the fact that they didn't trade up, they didn't give away picks, they stayed put. I thought that was perfect, and that's why I gave them a B plus. I can't quite give them an A. Yeah, they didn't like some of the other players, but I think they got a good solid B plus out of it.
I'll drop down a little bit, give them a B. But overall, I thought it was a pretty solid draft overall. They had some holes they needed to fill. I think they did just that. All right, Pittsburgh Steelers. What are we giving them? I think I like the Troy Fatano pick. I like the Roman Wilson pick as well. Rest of the draft, I'll go C plus. Overall, I thought the Peyton Wilson pick a little bit of a reach in round 3, but I'm not super blown away by this. I thought it was just kind of okay.
Yeah, I gave him a B minus. Honestly, I like to pick a 3rd round linebacker, Peyton Wilson, like you just mentioned. I think he does have some medical issues, which could be an issue. I thought maybe they could have waited a little bit longer. I think he may have been around in that second round, which is why I gave him the B minus. I felt like they jumped way too soon to pick him because you just don't know. But anytime you got medical issues, and I know that their trade probably looked at him, but still, I'm a little rough on that one. So for that reason, because of the medical issues, I felt like they could have taken him later, and so that's why I gave them a B minus. I still had a decent draft, but yeah, they didn't have.
All right, what about the Super Bowl runner-ups in the San Francisco 49ers? I'm gonna be honest, Jay, wasn't a huge fan of their draft. I'll go with a C, maybe a C minus perhaps. I thought the Ricky Pearsall pick was a reach. I mean, no one really thought he was going to go round 1, but he did. And the rest of the draft, I just wasn't really super sure if the guys, that they went with. I will say late round pick. I like the Jacob Cowling pick out of Arizona. We've talked about him before. But overall, I'm not super sold on this draft by the champs, the silver medal champs, we'll say, not Super Bowl champs, silver medal.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I gave him a C minus, and
Yeah.
basically all for the same reasons you just said. I thought Parasol was the worst pick that they
That was a
drafted.
reach. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that was I would say second biggest reach outside of JJ McCarthy. But the thing with McCarthy though, people were saying he was going to go first round. When Parasol, everyone was kind of surprised he went round 1. So we'll see. Damian said the Eagles and Commanders had the best draft in the NFC East. We'll get to Washington in just a moment. But first, Jay, we have to go out to Seattle. Their first round pick, Byron Murphy. They got Christian Haynes, AJ Barner, a couple other guys. I think that when I look at Seattle, I would go with a C. I like the Byron Murphy pick, but the rest of the guys, I'm not really feeling. I mean, that's just me personally. What about you?
Yeah, I gave him a C, just an average C.
Yeah,
I like the Byron Murphy. I think he's a great defensive pickup for them guys. But I did not like
rest of the draft.
tight end in the fourth. I didn't like AJ in the fourth. I did not like.
They went with a guy from they went with a guy from Texas, El Paso, which was a big. I'm like, really? Okay. Just in the middle rounds. And normally those are late round guys, so I was kind of a little shocked by that. Could be a surprise, but I mean, off rip, I'm not really loving it. All right, Let's go now. Tampa Bay out there. They went Graham Barton. They went Chris Braswell, Tyke Smith, Jalen McMillan, Bucky Irvin. Overall, Jay, I'm gonna give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll go with a B plus. I really like this draft. I thought they did a solid job. They filled some of the places that they needed to. And I think I like the Graham Barton pick. Chris Braswell, interesting, also on the edge. Tyke Smith in Georgia. And I like also round 3, Jalen McMillan out of Washington. Also the Bucky Irving pick in round 4, because God knows they need some help in the running back spot. I thought that Tampa Bay probably, had one of the better selections as a team. What about you?
Yeah, I give him a B plus. I thought the 3rd round receiver in McMillan was a huge steal.
Yeah,
to the point where he had more catches than a Doonesy did in 2022.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I think he's going to prove to be a major steal, and because he's a major steal, and they got him in the 3rd round, I'm giving those guys a B plus. Big time kudos.
There you go. All right, let's head out now. We're finishing out. We're almost done. Tennessee Titans. They went first round. J.C. Latham, Devondre Sweat, Cedric Gray. A lot of defense here. I would go with I'll go B minus. J.C. Latham, a lot of people thought, you could have went maybe somewhere else with that. But I like the Devondre Sweat pick in the 2nd round. Cedric Gray as well, someone who to watch out for. So I would go B minus. I mean, not great, but not the worst thing ever. I think it's just, it's okay.
Yeah, I gave them a B minus too. I like the 5th round corner, Jarvis Brownlee Jr. that they picked up. He is a small guy, but he can cover. And they got him in the 5th, so they're going to have to pay this guy a lot. So I like him. I did not, however, like Devondre Sweat. And the reason why I gave them a B minus and couldn't give him an A is because of Devondre Sweat. I think he is a risky pick. He just had a DUI not even a few months ago, early in the draft process. He got a DUI, and that is a big thing for me. And that's why I said B minus all the way.
And the final team, Damian, who he said was one of the best in the NFC East. Washington Commanders, as we know, getting their new franchise quarterback and Jaden Daniels. Also getting Jerzon Newton, Mike Sanderson, Ben Sinnott, Brandon Coleman, Luke McCaffrey. Honestly, Jay, I'll go with an A for Washington. I love this draft for them. God knows they needed it. I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah, I actually gave them guys an A plus. And
that's your top picks there.
And Jaden Daniels. And you know what's sad is they actually got a B plus haphazardly because Chicago, in my opinion, screwed the pooch with Williams, and that actually put Jaden Daniels right into their lap.
Yeah, right there.
Amazing.
We'll see what happens, but yeah, I think Jay, you've convinced me. A plus for Wash. I think that they had the best draft. I would say they had a really good draft. The Jets, a lot of other teams did really good, but I think when you look at it as a whole, I'll have to go with the Washington Commanders knocking it out of the park. I think they did a great job, man. We'll see what happens, but I think off rip, that is the team to maybe watch out for in the next couple of years. If all these guys hit, we'll see. Well, Jay, as always, man, it's been fun talking the draft grades with you. I've been your host and producer, Logan Landers. Guys, we appreciate you for tuning in. And until next time, we'll talk to you on another live episode.